Let's get it. What is going on, YouTube? We are just getting started with another Amazon FBA Q&A. We got the TikTok live right here as always. And we got our first question. Abu says, day 4, no sales. What do I do? How many reviews do you have, Abu? It's the famous question that I ask when people are struggling when they first start selling on Amazon. And usually the answer to this question is what helps me guide you into the right direction. Usually the answer is less than, oh, there we go, 0, just launched. There's your answer, brother. You have 0 reviews. You do not launch on page 1 when you launch a product on Amazon. You launch on page 6, page 7, page 8. How many times has anyone here bought a product on page 8? You need to build up reviews because that shows credibility. Again, how many times have you bought a product on Amazon with 0 reviews? Probably never. So you got to build up those reviews. I don't even run PPC ads until I get 10 to 15 reviews. And then you're going to use PPC ads to get traction for your product, start getting sales so that you can leverage those sales to increase your rank so that you can start getting organic sales as well. It's not about how long do sales usually take, brother. Just because you launched a product on Amazon doesn't mean the sales are just going to fall onto your lap. You have to push for your product. You have to market your product. You have to get reviews for your product. You have to start running PPC ads for your product. But I don't do that again until I get 10 to 15 reviews. If I really do wish it was as easy as all you had to do was launch a product on Amazon and then wait for all the sales to roll in. Not arbitrage, not private label, not wholesale. None of the business models on Amazon are really like this. That being said, brother, there is a fundamental strategy for you to stick to. Get reviews, run PPC ads, test those ads, and make optimizations from there. I have a lot of videos on my page on how to do this. Also, y'all, I posted some gem videos on the TikTok page today. The last video that I posted is another episode in the where I'm taking a brand new Amazon seller account from a big fat $0 in sales where it's currently at to $1 million, 7 figures in sales. And I will be documenting every step of the journey. 2 reasons. 1, because we were going to start that account one way or another. 2, I thought it would be a great way for all of you. I'm actually going to get into that question. I was going to ignore it, but we're going to get into that question. But anyways, yes, but documenting the journey for all of you to see. I think it's very telling when somebody, and you can actually see their bio, what their trade is and everything. I think it's sad. I wish everybody who comes into my live, whether they're hating on me or whether they're enjoying the content, I wish you well, truly. But it's very telling to me when somebody comes in spewing nonsense into somebody else who they don't know on the internet's live or videos. It's really telling about your character, how successful you are, and the mindset that you're in. It's kind of like it's almost like a cry out for help. Think about the level of person where you're going to take time out of your day. Number 1, if you're super successful, you don't got the time to be in somebody else's live saying a bunch of nonsense. But going into someone's live, it says a lot about your insecurities, where you are in life, because you're either not hustling enough to the point where you have that much time, or the other side of, not talking about you, Zeus. This was a different question or a different comment. The person's still in the live, so I'm entertaining it. But yeah, either have not a lot of success to where you have the time to leave these comments, or it's your own insecurities that would lead you to leave comments like that. But either way, enjoy the show, brother. There's a lot of people who are in here who are about to get a lot of value over the next hour. Hey, Luke, I cannot create a listing with my brand name because I have to apply to sell. On the application, it's asking for my product packaging pictures, but I don't have them manufactured yet because I cannot create an FNSKU for my listing. Set the product as generic for now. You have two options. You can get a GTIN exemption, Mr. FBA, and then where you're going to be able to list it without having to get that approval. And then the second option is list it as generic, and then you can get it changed later. And for the record, person still in the live, enjoying the time. So, what up, G? What up, Kareem? Good to see you. What's the next step after your first launch fails? Well, how did it fail, Kareem? Why did it fail? I think that's the first question to ask yourself, and then we can break that down even further. FBA or wholesale. All business models on FBA or on Amazon can be FBA, private label, wholesale, and arbitrage. I do private label. Jenny, thank you so much for the follow. Want to know FBA. What about it? What's good, Luke? What up, Branson? Good to see you. Saturation, in my opinion. What was the average reviews in the market that you launched in, bro? Because if it was like a really high average review market, then I think that would be, that would fall into your next steps on Amazon. Because if you were going to go launch another product, you would want to make sure that you're not going into a market that had high average reviews, where the competition is super, super established. Also, was the YT? No, the YT camera seems good. And so now it's just learning from those mistakes, learning from the product criteria that you used before, and then improving upon that for your next launch. My competition is plastic product, but I want to do wooden. The price is almost double. What should I do? Does anybody else in the market have a wooden product? Is there any indication that performs well in the market? Maybe there's a reason why everybody else is plastic, because plastic works better for that product and it's more cost efficient. If there's no sales data showing you that the wood version will outperform the plastic version, and then you're going to be double the price, not price competitive, it's going to cost you twice as much. I don't necessarily think that's ideal. What route do you suggest me to take? It would be up to you, bro. Either, like, they're both equally good options. Getting the GTIN exemption might be a little bit less of a headache for you later down the line. Kareem in the YT chat says, what's your opinion on buying an Amazon FBA business? I think a great way, even though we're not at the level of Shark Tank investors, I think a great way to look at it is like a Shark Tank investor. All the products that we're selling on Amazon are essentially commodity products. So we have to understand that. Now there is something to be said if you have an established brand in an established category. Like, it may be easier to get sales there than going into an established category with a brand new brand. But let's say that you were going to go buy a brand for $100,000. Do you buy the brand for $100,000, or could you take $100,000 and recreate the brand and maybe even recreate it even better? If the answer is yes, then I don't think it's worth buying the brand necessarily. And we're all talking at the early stages. We're not going and talking about buying a Scrub Daddy or buying a Ring camera type company. I'm assuming we're talking about buying something that's not, a multi-million-dollar company, but also not something that is at the base level. Let's see here. What are the categories you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole? As a new seller, supplements, topicals, consumables, electronics, clothing, shoes, and products that are majority fragile. Any advice for someone that's stuck in the product research phase? All products I found that met the criteria are large, would need more capital and shipping costs. I'm in the program, by the way. May, my advice for you is, well, two things. Number one, ask yourself, how many products have I looked at? If that number is under 50, you have to understand, like I talk about in the program, that product research is a numbers game. Sometimes you'll go through 20 products in a row that don't meet the criteria. And then sometimes you'll go kind of like I've done in the live product research lessons. If you haven't watched those, I would go watch those in the mentorship, where I'm doing product research live. Sometimes 2 products in a row that I find are good products. Sometimes back to back to back to back products don't meet the criteria. It is a numbers game. Also, in the mentorship, I have a lesson in there talking about how to analyze potential products. And I go over how long it should be taking you to analyze those products, 1 to 3 minutes max. So again, you got to ask yourself, is it taking me more than 3 minutes to analyze a product? If yes, then I have to readjust how I'm doing product research. I go over that in the mentorship. If it is taking you less than 3 minutes, the next question to ask is, how many products have I actually looked at? Is it 10? If that's the case, if it at 3 minutes per product, that's only 30 minutes of product research. Is it 100 or is it 50 products? Because then at that point, what is that? 593. It's like a couple hours of product research. So how long have you actually been looking at products, and have you been looking at products the right way? Do I have to do this every time I launch? Not once you're brand registered, Mr. Amazon. Yeah, plastic ones. Lost. Thank you for sharing the live, my guy. Appreciate you. How to get reviews fast. Friends and family, and then the Amazon Vine program. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for your podcast. Assuming you mean the lives. And of course, I enjoy doing these. I do them for y'all. Surely not to hear myself talk every day. I just sent off my first FBA shipment. I'm excited. Let's go, Sosa. That is going to be, it's exciting. It's always exciting when you're sending your first products to Amazon. Can I get your chain? No, you cannot. Number one, this is priceless to me. Number two, it's quite expensive. This is a one-of-one 18 karat gold piece from the Vatican. And then the chain was a gift. I won't have to price drop so much. Let's go. Yes, you don't want to play a game of price. You want to play a game of value. I was just sharing with my mentorship students. I've been buying a lot of things for around the house. I've been getting like 10 Amazon deliveries every day for the last couple days. Said, at least I tried. Yeah, at least you tried. Yep, doesn't hurt to ask, right? But 10 Amazon deliveries nearly every day. And when I'm shopping for these products for around my house, the one thing that I'm not looking at is price. Why is that? Because I'm looking for the best product that's going to have the best function and give me the best value as a consumer. I'm thinking of that not because I sell on Amazon, because as a consumer, I just want the best product. And so when you guys have that same mentality as a seller, we actually just got off a really, really good call with my students, where we went over like live differentiation. I'm very happy with that, because I think it clicked for a lot of students. I had them pick a product, random product markets. We went into those markets and we went over, okay, how do we differentiate? What potential differentiators are in this market? How would we improve it? And then the 2 products that we ended up differentiating felt really, really good about. Like if I was actually going to go launch those, I'd be very confident in my differentiators. That being said, you guys have to have that same mentality as a seller. Differentiation, adding value into the market, creating a unique product, but not something where you have to create a new mold or reinvent the wheel, something that's just taking a spin-off from all the good sellers in the market and creating a hybrid of those. Do you offer courses to learn Amazon FBA? I do have a mentorship program, so much more than just a course. That's the AMZ Masterclass mentorship in the TikTok bio. Amazon deliveries every day is an addiction. LOL. Yes, it for sure. Well, yes, for sure. I am a victim of consumerism, no doubt about that. But it's also like things for around the house, like organizers for the pantry, the fridge, and just like, I don't know. I started going down a rabbit hole of wanting to really organize everything around the house, a little OCD there. So that's kind of stuff that I've been getting. It's not an everyday 24/7 thing where I get that many deliveries, but I do order quite a lot of stuff from Amazon. Bella, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody in the live vibing, asking questions. How about let's do that. It's pretty early in the live. So how about if on TikTok we get to, I'm going to make it a big goal because it would be an in-depth lesson. If we get to, should I make it a really big goal? If we get to 10K likes and 50 shares, I will do live differentiation. We'll do one live example, same way that I just did for my mentorship students on the call. 10K likes, 50 shares. We'll see if we get it before I have to hop off live. If we do, then we'll do some live differentiation, which outside of the product, I'd say there's like, the product you launch itself. I don't have TikTok. It's all good, Brooklyn. Appreciate you being on the YT. And that's actually super cool that you found me on YT and not TikTok. I like that. That means the YT is growing, which I am all about. Where was I? So the things that are most important, obviously the product that you launch, the product market, product numbers, the differentiator that you choose, because if you go click copy and paste on what everybody else is doing, then you're going to get beat on price. You'll never win on price on Amazon, almost never. And you're going to get beat on reviews because as a new seller, you launch with 0 reviews. And then you also have your product margin, your profit margin. So that's going to be a big key. And then your PPC ads and your conversion are going to be some of the most important things when launching and selling on Amazon. Which tool do you use for product research? Helium 10 and Kivu. On my YT page, my YouTube, I have a few videos on how to do product research, in-depth videos. So basically I can find a distributor of a name brand product and ship them to Amazon and collect. If only it was that easy, brother. The people who are teaching you about wholesale and arbitrage, although that is the fundamental basis of that business model, yes, it is surely not that easy because you're competing you're competing for something called the buy box against every other seller who thinks it's just as easy as you. I do something called private label where, yes, there's multiple sellers of the same type of product in a market, but I'm able to take a product like this, stand out, differentiate from my competition. My product will be unique, actually adding value into the market. I'm also able to control my listing. So anytime somebody comes to my listing, they're only buying from me. Whereas with wholesale and arbitrage, let's say there's 15 sellers who find the same Nike socks that you want to sell. Well, you are all going to be competing for the same buy box. If you don't win the buy box, then you are not getting a majority of the sales. The buy box does circulate, but nevertheless, you still have to compete for it, and you can't differentiate your listing either. Airstick, thank you for sharing the live, my guy. Appreciate you. What up, Malik? I did 415K in revenue last year, Luke. Thank you for the free advice. Let's go, Lucky. God bless. Wishing you Godspeed. God willing, this year it's $1 million in revenue. And I just want to, I'm just going to pat myself on the back a little bit here, only to say, when I say I don't gatekeep any information, this is what I mean. There's people who join the mentorship and they'll have great results, but then there's also people who, if they don't necessarily want to have me as a mentor and the full structure and all of the tools and extras that come with the program, I don't gatekeep information in my content. I will share my strategies. I will share my mistakes. I will share it all. Can't you manipulate the buy box? Yes and no. There's like repricing and all of that, but you have to think if on wholesale, if you're all competing for the same real estate, the same beach real estate, and everybody's playing the same tricks to try to get the beach real estate, it's still evening the playing field in that, or not evening the playing field. It's almost canceling out these tricks that you're using because everybody else is using it. And now it's really, a lot of it has to do with price. Do you use AWD and Amazon Logistics to ship your stuff? Sometimes for big quantities and the larger accounts. What are margins on Amazon like? For private label, average 25 to 35% margins. I added a product now, it won't let me prep it because it gives me hazmat restriction. Emily, I literally just went through this. Go watch my last video that I posted. We had a product get flagged for hazmat. You have to submit an exemption and you might have to go back and forth with Amazon, but you should be good. Our FBA fees before, after coupon discounts. Before. Stop gatekeeping your Fiverr editor so I can touch 1 mil this year. I don't gatekeep them, Lucky. You can go on AMZ Masterclass optimized.com and you can actually use the exact team who creates my product images, my logos, my packaging, my titles, bullet points, description, A+ content, all of that. I ended up making that available to the public. Mentorship students get some extra perks with that, as well as discounts to that to those services. On TikTok, Emily. What's up, Luke? What up, Jordan? Thoughts on private labeling it with clothing brand? I would avoid clothing. Highest return rate category on Amazon. What's your experience with that? I'm scared they're going to lose my inventory. Same as Amazon FBA, brother. If they lose their inventory, they're going to pay for it. On Helium 10 calculator, is the category fee accurate? I'm launching a toys and games product and it's high. I would use the FBA fee calculator from Amazon themselves. Dang, thank you. I appreciate it. Of course. Thank you. Of course, Emily, I got y'all. Also, y'all, the last video that I posted on TikTok, it is a new video in the series where I'm taking a new Amazon seller account from $0 to $1 million in sales. I feel so overwhelmed, just started, but keep hitting roadblocks. This comment makes me smile, not smiling because you feel overwhelmed. This comment makes me smile because it's a conversation I just had with one of my business partners, literally just today. Like almost word for word. We had just resolved the same issue that you were going through, Emily, and another issue arose where we keep getting automatically declined for, no, don't love your pain, trust me. We keep automatically getting declined for our brand registry, right? Amazon was like, you used a law office that is sketchy, essentially. And it's like, we used somebody in the IP Accelerator program. And I told them, I was like, honestly, man, like in a weird way, I don't like dealing with these issues, but the end result always brings a smile to my face. And I was like, it just solidifies what I tell my mentorship students, that in my lifetime of selling on Amazon, 6 years, I have only ever, and I've had hundreds of issues. I have only ever had one issue that was not resolved, and that wasn't even caused by me. Regardless, I've only ever had one issue that did not get resolved, and that was us losing that seller account that I made a few videos about last year. One issue ever not resolved. If it wasn't for that issue, it would be 100% track record. So the reason I smile is because no matter what the issue is, and no matter how long you have to deal with it, and no matter how annoying it is, you have a very, 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 very high chance of getting through it as long as you just keep going. Amazon tells you not to do that, something can't be done, create another case. They tell you the same thing, create another case. They tell you the same thing, create another case. Have it escalated. Like, there is a way always. So it's annoying. I'm not saying that it's fun, but you're also paying into your success tax. You have to, theoretically, you have to pay this tax to get closer to your success. You want the success, you want numbers like this, you want numbers like you see on TikTok and YouTube and all this stuff. You want the fully, successful Amazon business. Awesome. You have to pay into your success tax, which means you're going to have to deal with adversity. You're going to have to deal, no, Emily, that's where you got it twisted. Hold on. We're going to backtrack on this. Super incorrect. Well, super correct now, but you got it twisted because do you know where I started when I started my Amazon business? Broke, sleeping on my best friend's couch, making $13 an hour, working for my cousin's business, no car, no license, no direction in life, the party kid. I was down. I was at rock bottom, the bottomest of bottoms. Same thing applied then. The same thing that I'm telling you right now in the position as an Amazon 7-figure seller that I'm telling you now, you're right. It's easier said than done when I'm at a different level. But the same thing applied and the same mentality applied when I started. When I first started, when I couldn't afford to make these mistakes, when I couldn't afford to deal with Amazon seller support, I had accounts suspended. I had accounts removed. There was a day where I'm making $800 a day in top line revenue, where like I would wake up to like $100, $200 in sales. And then I wake up one day to $0 in sales. I'm like, what's going on? My product gets flagged. I have to deal with that. My account gets suspended. I have to deal with that. I almost lose my trademark and have to rebrand my entire brand that I thought was going to be my saving grace to get me to financial freedom. It still applies. The advice that I'm giving you is not easy for you to say. I've lived it. I'm living proof of everything that I preach. The product criteria that I talk about is because of mistakes that I've made. The way that I tell people how to navigate Amazon seller support is because from the moment I started selling on Amazon to 6 years later now, you just heard, I just dealt with an issue. And when I started, I dealt with issues. So it's all the same. You got to just push past it. Have you tried applying your method on TikTok Shop? Yes, we sell products on TikTok Shop. Does pretty decent. If TikTok officially stays, I'll make more content about TikTok Shop. Are you selling as an authorized seller from a brand or manufacturer? We are considered the manufacturer for our products. 10K, let's go. Let's get to 50 shares too. Can I buy from Alibaba and sell on Amazon? If you're doing private label, yes. How much would you say you need to invest in your first product? At least 3K, but that's 3.5K for your cost of goods, shipping, images, potentially your listing. You have wholesaler that you recommend? I don't do wholesale. Also, something tells me that if somebody does do wholesale, that they're not going to recommend you their wholesaler that they use. Like if I'm a wholesaler and I just realized YouTube could see that. Sorry. If I'm a wholesaler and I can win on a specific product, because, if I have connections for Nike socks, that means you're going to sell Nike socks on the same exact listing as me. What wholesaler is going to give you access to the wholesaler that they're using if they allegedly have the best price? Like that just doesn't really add up to me. It's different than private label. Number one, I'd never recommend I'd never give one of my students one of the products that I was launching, right? Students get their own product, for example, in the product selection program. It's not like a list where you get product selection and everybody has access to the same list of products. You get your product. But I would never create direct competition, start handing out products in the same markets that I launch in. So you guys got to be careful with these like lead lists and wholesale, I guess lead lists. They're all lead lists. FBA means real fulfilled by Amazon. Sing, thank you so much for the follow. How can you scale sales to 500 units a month to 2,000 to 3,000 a month? At that point, right, you would want to start it's always kind of the same advice no matter what level you're at. Working on your conversion, because even if you were at like a 20% conversion, if you got to 25% or 30%, that's thousands of dollars more in sales, potentially hundreds of more units. And then another thing is you want to start expanding on your PPC ad strategy. So let's say that you've achieved 500 units a month through sponsored product ads. Now you want to expand on sponsored products, so add more keywords. Maybe you can start testing the short tail. So if you're bidding on like red bandana, you can start testing things like bandana, or maybe things a little bit more broad, depending on how well you convert and your reviews and things like that. And then you'd also want to expand on other strategies such as sponsored brand ads, sponsored video ads, and you'd also want to work on your sponsored display ads, depending if it's relevant to your product, like retargeting, repurchase targeting, targeting competitors, and then expand there. Also product targeting as well. Make sure you're not necessarily going like heavy on it, but make sure you're utilizing it and tracking something called your Amazon path to purchase. If I'm a customer and I click on your listing, but then I go to your competitor's listing, is your product also appear on the competitor's detail page? Or if I search the main keyword and I click on your competitor, when I go to your competitor and scroll down the detail page, is your product also positioned there? What's the price range of your course? It is 3 to 5K USD. User 82, thank you so much for the follow. You mentioned that you made people you use on Fiverr Public. Is it in your bio? It's not. You can find, it's a service that I created, Mr. Amazon, and it's AMZ Masterclass Optimized.com. AMZMASTERClassoptimized.com. For the mentorship, there's no discount codes. And then for the AMZ Masterclass Optimized, there's only discounts available for my mentorship students. How many product ads in the beginning, like hire professional or no? No, bro. If you don't understand Amazon ads, you should not outsource it to someone else to spend your money for you to not understand how to analyze that data, and you have to pay a management fee on top of that. So we actually offer a PPC management service in my AMZ Masterclass program, but we don't accept everyone. I actually just got off a consulting call with one of my students who wanted to pay us money to manage their ads. And I told them, I'm like, listen, brother, I didn't create this service to just take people's money. If I did, I would gladly onboard you as a client for this. But you're not in a position where you should be paying somebody to manage your ads, and when you're not even going to be necessarily profitable on those ads with your conversion rate. So I was like, listen, you have the PPC Masterclass, which is the most in-depth guide on Amazon ads. He has a little bit of a unique product. He launched it before joining the mentorship. It doesn't necessarily meet the criteria, very competitive market. So I gave him a specific strategy to implement. How do you get your listing to the first page? Reviews and Amazon PPC ads. And if all of the sellers have 100 to 500 reviews, 100 isn't bad, but if it's high reviewed sellers on page 1, that's why I don't go into high average reviewed markets. Thank you. That was very nice. Are there any seller tools like Helium 10 you recommend for expanding PPC? Not for expanding PPC, just good strategies for expanding PPC, good implementation of those strategies for PPC. Polish people, I'm Polish and US citizen, double discount. You're funny, Emily. PPC seems super simple. Is it really more complicated? It's simple and complicated because most people think it's as simple as I'm going to throw keywords in a campaign and I'm entitled to sales and being profitable, but it doesn't work like that. Because if you don't have proper conversion, if you don't structure your ads properly, you're going to be paying more money to Amazon than you're making. And if you don't understand how to optimize your listing or your ads when that's happening, then not ideal. Hey, brother, when are you having the next class for Amazon FBA? I'm probably not doing the live trainings anymore, bro. I'm going to just stick to the TikTok and the YT lives. The live webinars are discontinued. I did my last one last month. Let's go. Appreciate everybody in the live vibing, asking questions. Also, I posted another gem of a video earlier talking about the honeymoon phase when selling on Amazon. So if you haven't already, be sure to check that out. What state are you in? I live in Southern California. What do deferred payments mean? That is like essentially like a new account level reserve on Amazon. It's money that Amazon is holding from your account. You mentioned, yes, Mr. Amazon. Like I said, go check that out in the bio. Y'all, we have to get to 50 shares for us to do the live differentiation. We're already 40 minutes into the live, so make sure that y'all hit that share button. Hey, any tips? I'm just starting. I can give you specific tips, but any tips is a little bit broad. Should I do eBay first? No, nothing. Well, depends. If you don't have money to start Amazon, eBay can be a great way to build up some of that initial capital. If you think it's like, let me do eBay and then let me do Amazon and I'm going to learn and graduate, it doesn't really work like that. Honeymoon stage, I don't even want to know. I'm already so defeated. Don't even worry about it, Emily. How to change the country? Change the country of what? How much money do we need? I would say 3.5K minimum to get started with private label. That's for your cost of goods, your shipping, your samples, and your images as well. Woo! Let's get it, son. Yeah, I was thinking of starting on eBay, then Amazon. Like I said, if it's a progression thing, it doesn't really do you any good. You should start with the business model that you want to end on. If you don't have the capital, you want to build up that initial capital, eBay is a great way to do it. Do you need a prep center for your products before shipping out if you're doing FBA? No, not the way that I do it. I have my products go directly from my manufacturer overseas to Amazon's fulfillment centers. And then from there, every time I get an order, Amazon picks, packs, and ships that order to the customer. Do you see yourself doing this for 10 years? I see myself doing this until I can no longer do this. As long as Amazon's around and allowing third-party sellers to continue selling on their platform, which I don't see that changing considering we account for more than 50% of their revenue, I will continue to be selling on Amazon. What should we start selling new? Nobody's going to just hand you a product to sell. A lot of the videos that you guys see where people do, I wouldn't even launch those products. I break down. I've made some videos on that, but it is good product criteria, good average reviews, good average price, things like that. I don't share the exact same products that I sell, brother, for obvious reasons. People who don't have products to sell, and then I share the products that I sell and obviously perform well in. The math doesn't math there. If I register in the USA, but I live in the UK, should I have to change it to the UK account? No, you can. Amazon allows over 130 countries to sell on Amazon. I have a mentorship, much more than a course, bro. What is the carrier you choose from manufacturer to Amazon warehouse? I created my own shipping company, Venice. It's actually a shipping company I created to help my students save money on shipping. And now I use them because they beat market rates 9 times out of 10. Actually, let me read you this post. I'm going to make a video on TikTok about this. Let me read you this post from one of my students. They were just talking about this in the mentorship call today. Hold on, let's get this here. He says, hope everyone is doing well. My manufacturer quoted me $6 to $8 a kilogram for shipping. I talked to the freight forwarder in the course, and they are quoting me $1.05 a kilogram. I feel like it's too good to be true. LOL, if that's the case, I am a happy camper right now. I let him know, brother, that is not too good to be true. I just got a quote from my freight forwarder that was $1.09 a kilogram. Are you from Canada? No. Why does everyone ask that? Not that it's a bad thing. Do I look Canadian? I don't think so. I look Middle Eastern. Do I talk like a Canadian? But no, I'm from Southern California. I said, do I look like a Canadian? Do it till the wheels fall off. Pretty much, brother. I have about 15K I've saved up to start to really make money with this. What would you do in my shoes? I would do the exact thing that I do and tell people to do in all of my videos. The same product criteria that I use and teach, I would use that. The same way that I talk about how to differentiate a product and add value to the market, I would do that. The same way that I talk about negotiating and contacting with manufacturers, I would do that. That's the whole reason why I'm creating the whole the 0 to 1 million series. I just smell naive. What does that mean? That was crazy. But maple. Anyways, that's why I'm starting the 0 to 1 million series. And that's why I'm even sharing little things about like, hey, this happened to the account. Okay, we got the account back up. Everything that I do and teach, you guys are going to see is exactly what I follow. It's not I look for a product with this criteria, but then new products I launch are a different one. It's like, oh, this is how I differentiate products, but I do something completely different. What I would do in your guys' shoes is exactly, without deviation, without altering the path, without trying to add your own versions of it, I would do exactly what I talk about. There was this challenge that I did back in the day. It was called 75 Hard. Maybe some of you guys have heard of it. The internet kind of skewed this challenge. The creator, excuse me, the creator of this challenge. Oh, I don't have water next to me. Okay, that's great. Anyway, sorry, YT. I just realized that I wasn't on the YT chat. I am here now. I'm going to get to everyone's question. 1 sec. Anyways, the creator was a guy named Andy Frisella. He created this program in a very strategic way. You had to read 10 pages of a physical book every day. It was a 75-day challenge. 0 rest days, 2 workouts a day for at least 45 minutes. One of the workouts had to be outside. You had to read 10 pages of a physical book. You had to drink a gallon of water every day. You had to stick to a diet, no alcohol, no partying, no, and then I think there was one more thing. I could be wrong. All of those things, okay? Now, the internet skewed this challenge because the internet wanted to try to make it easier for themselves. So it was like, okay, well, I don't have to do 2 workouts a day, or I can have 1 rest day. So they started making their own version of 75 Hard. I started this, Emily's out here trolling in the chat, but I started this challenge with 3 other people. One of the people, I was like, I saw on his story that he was drinking one night, and I'm like, bro, what was that? He's like, no, I thought the challenge was just no hard alcohol. I'm like, no, bro, just no alcohol. What are you saying? And then the other one, unfortunately, made it to like 49 days in, and he was traveling and messed up a day. Everybody wants to make their own little deviations of things that they hear. It's like, hey, this is the program that worked. This is the program that's going to get your mind on track. This is the exact thing that the successful person did to get to the point that they're at. And then everyone's like, I should do something else. Do you have to pay tariffs now from China? Yes. YouTube videos you have? What about YouTube videos I have? I have quite a few. Same name as my TikTok. Which country are you importing from? China? Without coupon code, ? Give this man some water. Hostage, hydrate this Canadian. You're funny. Please show us the way. Bro, I have over 1,000 videos on my TikTok page. I don't gatekeep any information. I show you all the way. I promise. There was just a comment in here. I don't know if they're in here still. I'm gonna scroll up from Lucky Plants. Hold on. We gotta scroll. Hold on. Ready for this? This is from Lucky Plants in the chat earlier. I did 415K in revenue last year. Luke, thanks for your free advice. All the free info I give, it's out there. The mentorship is for those of you who wanted me as your mentor to be able to have direct access to me. And no, brother, there's no guarantees in anything that you do in life. In fact, it's against FTC guidelines. If y'all aren't from the US, FTC is a government organization that we have here that stops people from getting scammed. It's against FTC guidelines for any guru, anybody on the internet to give you a guarantee in business. Why is that? Because there's no guarantees in business. The president himself cannot make you a guarantee in your business. So no, brother, the guarantee that I do make is that you will learn the exact strategies that I use without deviation that I've used to scale multiple successful Amazon businesses over the years. We've been slacking on the YT chat, so let's switch here. Not to be a get-rich-quick question, but generally speaking, how many months till you can become profitable? You can be profitable right off the bat, Conrad, and that's not a get-rich-quick question. It's a valid question, bro. You can be profitable right off the bat. Now, how long till you start taking distributions of that profit? Could be anywhere from 6 to 12 months, or anywhere from like 3 to 6 reorders of your product. We live in different countries, LOL. I do appreciate the info, though. Thank you, of course. How many hours of labor with supply that you send to Amazon did you work before expanding? I don't work. This isn't a full-time job. So I was working 12-hour days when I first started my Amazon business. Your course makes it so easy. Appreciate you, Airstick, one of the mentorship students, also one of the all-star students. Hey, Luke, know of any masterminds? Not of anyone's coming up, brother. But if I find any or hear of any, I will let you know. There was just one that passed. We're not even going to address these comments today. Sometimes I just read the comments of people, and I always click on their profile, and it usually just tells me enough that I need to know. More work equals more money. Sometimes also working smarter. How long do you usually take to get 100 reviews organically? Organically is tough. That could be months. Elaine, thank you so much for the follow. Tongue twister there. For the follow, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in the live vibing, asking questions. We've been at it for 50 minutes of straight value, asking people's questions, answering people's questions. So I'm sorry if this is the first thing that you hear in here. But if y'all want a more in-depth guide on the things that I talk about and have me as a mentor, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass mentorship program in the TikTok bio. No, I wasn't talking about you, Emily. There was a guy, I already muted his comment, but there was a guy who was saying some nonsense in here, and I clicked on his profile. It told me enough that I needed to know. Paying for friends and family in Vine. In the meantime, inbound to be losing money at first, right? Don't scare me. Yes, and especially if you're just starting out and you're paying for reviews, you're at a loss right off the bat, right? A few $100 in reviews, Vine, the products that you're sending to Vine. Don't stress about that. You're building up your foundation. And Priscilla, I'm actually really happy that you said this. You're in a position that so many people try to avoid being in and then end up making a mistake. Why? Because they don't want to lose money on reviews, but then they'll go lose money on running PPC ads with 0 reviews, and then they'll end up losing way more money. So you're giving yourself an opportunity to have a better foundation in the beginning. I wouldn't be too worried. And, just make sure you're making those optimizations once you do start running PPC ads according to the data. Fast optimization, speed answers all problems in the market. I really appreciate the info, of course. One Love, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you, appreciate everybody in the live vibe and asking questions. But On that note, everybody, I do appreciate y'all. I will not be live tomorrow or on Friday, but God willing, we'll be back Saturday with another live. If you guys like the videos, if you guys like the content, if you guys like the lives, you want me as your personal Amazon mentor, the most in-depth guide on Amazon private label that there is, the Harvard of Amazon private label education, be sure to check out the AMZ Masterclass Mentorship Program in the TikTok and the YouTube bio. I appreciate y'all. I'm not sure what time Saturday, to be honest, but make sure you guys turn on notifications in the meantime. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see y'all soon.